Now let us study about the condition when there are more than one forces. Till now we have taken only one force and found its effect on velocity in perpendicular and in parallel direction. But what if there is a group of forces? Group means it will be more than one force. So that will be the group of forces. It can be two or more forces. So we can say when two or more forces act on a body, then based on the change in state of motion of body, the forces can be classified as balanced forces and unbalanced forces. So as the name suggests, when two or more forces are applied on a body, and if there is the result of these combined forces is no change in motion, when forces are applied and there is no change in motion, then these forces are called balanced forces. We would say that each force has balanced the other forces. So the summation, what this will imply is that the summation of all the forces that are applied on a body is equal to 0. This means the acceleration that the forces produced is 0. If the summation is 0, then acceleration is also if the summation of forces is 0, then acceleration will also 0. This would mean that velocity remains constant. Or if the body is at rest, if the velocity was 0, then even after the application of balanced forces, the velocity will still remain the 0. So we can say either the body will be at rest or it will keep moving with constant velocity. Now, such condition when there is no change in velocity even after the application of forces, this condition is called equilibrium. We would say that the system is in equilibrium. Now this equilibrium can be of two types. It can be static equilibrium. Static means stationary. This comes when the body is at rest. It remains at rest, so we will say that it is in static equilibrium. Or the other is dynamic equilibrium. Now this equilibrium is when the body is moving with a constant velocity. There is no change in velocity. We would say that the body is in the situation of dynamic equilibrium. Now static equilibrium we are going to further explore later in this video. Now let us come to unbalanced force. Now unbalanced force means when the two or more forces are applied, then there will be some change in the motion of the body. This means the summation of forces is not equal to 0. There will be some resultant force. Or the acceleration is not equal to 0. There will be some acceleration. So therefore such kind of motion will be called accelerated motion, because there will be some acceleration. Either it will be acceleration to increase the speed or it will be deceleration, but it will be accelerated motion, and because of this velocity will change. Velocity changes because of that. So if velocity change, we can say that magnitude changes, direction can change, or both of them will change. If there is any change in just any of the quantity, magnitude or direction or both, we will say that the velocity has changed. Now let us talk about static equilibrium. So this is the equilibrium when two or more forces are applied and they are balanced forces, so that there is no change in the condition of rest of the body. So we can write here, when under the action of two or more forces, a body is at rest, then it is called static equilibrium. That is, the summation of forces is equal to 0. Now we can take an example. Let us say that there is a body which is at rest and two forces are applied. Suppose force F2 is applied in this direction and the equal force F1 is applied in the opposite direction. Now we know that these two forces, they are equal in magnitude and are in opposite direction. They will cancel each other. So you can write F1 is equal to F2, or it is same as F1 minus F2 equals to 0. So this condition is satisfied. So the body will remain at rest and it will be a condition of static equilibrium. Similarly, we can take another example. If a body is hanging, a mass M is hanging from roof, from a rigid support with string, then there will be force of gravitation acting on this body, and that we call the weight, and that weight mg will be in downward direction. We have already studied that weight of an object is mg from second law of Newton. We studied in junior classes F equals to ma. In case of weight or in case of gravitation, this a is g, so F equals to mg. So this is F equals to mg is the weight of the body. So if the body is just hanging with the string, then the downward force on the mass will be equal to mg. Now this will create some force in the string which is called tension. It will create some tension in the string. The string will get tight because of that tension, and this is nothing but force only. So when the body is at rest, when it is not moving, then this F will be equal to mg, or we can write F minus mg equals to 0. Same thing. So again this condition is satisfied. So these are the examples of static equilibrium. But when there are, suppose, more than two forces, let us do it on another page. Let us say that when a body is in state of equilibrium, in the influence of, let us say, three forces, then these three forces should represent three sides of a triangle. That means the vectors of these three forces should be in the form of a triangle. This is based on the law of triangle addition, the triangular law of vector addition. It is based on this law. And we studied in this law that if there is a vector A in this direction, and if there is another vector B is in this direction, if these two vectors are arranged like this, then the third side of this triangle in this direction will represent the resultant, which is given as A plus B. We have already studied it. So this means that R is equal to the combined magnitude of A and B. R is equal to the combined magnitude of A and B. This is what this law states. Now suppose if I reverse the direction of resultant, let us say that A and B is same, but I reverse the direction of R. Now R is in this direction. Then it will be equal to minus R, or it will be equal to minus of A plus B. But the result is same. Both of these statements are same. So that means the forces should represent, if the forces represent a triangle, then we will say that the condition of equilibrium of a body can be analyzed. So if we replace these vectors a, b and r with forces, let us say if we have three forces F1, F2 and F3, then these three forces should make a triangle. So let us make a triangle like this. If this is F1, this is F2, then the third force F3 should be like this, such that F3 equals to F1 plus F2. Now if we apply these forces F1, F2 and F3 in this way on a body, then the body will remain in static equilibrium. How are these forces? Now here these forces are applied are in the form of a triangle, but if we apply these forces on a body, let us say that we have a body of mass m and these forces are applied, then force F1 is applied in this direction like this, force F2 is applied in this direction and F3 is in this direction. So these three forces are applied on the body and they are making a triangle like this. So if this happens, if this is the condition that the three forces are applied and they are making a three sides of triangle, then this body of mass m will stay in a static equilibrium. Now there is one very important rule called sine rule. You should know this rule, it will be used again and again. By this rule, if angle opposite to F1 is theta 1, the angle opposite to F1 is this one. So let us say that this is theta 1. Opposite to F2 is theta 2. That means this is theta 2. And opposite to F3 is theta 3. Then we can apply this sine rule. Now if these are the forces, then to apply these forces of, if how will we apply these theta on this triangle, we know that they should make a triangle, the forces should make a triangle. So let us say that let us do all the angles one by one and then we will explain the sine rule and a theorem based on it. Now here the angle between F2 and F1 is theta 3. So between F2 and F1, so for that I have to extend F1 like this in this direction. So between F2 and F1 is theta 3. So that means this angle will be theta 3. Between F3 and F2 is theta 1. So that means I have to extend F2 and this angle will become theta 1. And between F3 and F1 is theta 2. So that means we have to extend F3 and this will be angle theta 2. Now if these are the angle theta 1, theta 2 and theta 3, then we know that this angle inside the triangle will be pi minus theta 2. This will be pi minus theta 1 and this angle will be pi minus theta 3 because of the linear pair. Now here comes the sine rule, or we can say Lami's theorem. Now this theorem, the mathematical expression of this theorem is F1 upon sine theta 1 is equal to F2 upon sine theta 2 is equal to F3 upon sine theta 3. Now here the values of them can be taken from the values of this triangle. Now pi minus theta 2, if we apply this sine theta 1, if we say that sine pi minus theta 1, then we know that sine pi minus theta 1 will be equal to sine theta 1. Similarly, sine pi minus theta 2 will be equal to sine theta 2 and sine pi minus theta 3 is equal to sine theta 3. So we get these values here. The Lami's theorem gives us the ratio of the magnitude of forces and the sine of the angle opposite to that force. So this is a very important theorem should understand this concept carefully. Lami's theorem is giving us the ratio of the force, magnitude of force, and the angle opposite to that force. So this means, I'll write a note here. This means Lami's theorem can be applied when three forces are acting on a body and the body is in static equilibrium. So if the body is in static equilibrium, then we can directly apply Lami's theorem on this condition. We can draw the diagram of the forces on the body, and from that diagram we can make the diagram of the triangle of the forces, and then we can decide angles and apply Lami's theorem to find out whatever is asked, whether it is the magnitude of the force or whether it is the angle of the force.